Hello and welcome to another Friday. I guess it wasn't too bad coming off a short week after the 4th of July holiday weekend. So I want to thank you for tuning in today and spending some time with me. You are listening to The Financial Chick Show, and I am the Financial Chick. My name is Denise Nostrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service independent financial planning firm located in Medford. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. Boy, we can really use that right about now, huh? So if you want to know more about me or my firm, you can check out my website at financialchickshow.com. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions. So like our pages to get updates and see what's happening. We have a lot of good stuff going on there, with the new project manager, Brian. So he's putting up a lot of good stuff there on the social media sites. So I hope you all had a really good holiday weekend. It was a good one, and I think we lucked out with the weather, so that was pretty good. We got a good Memorial Day, good 4th of July, so, I guess so far this summer's looking to be pretty good. So we spent the weekend over at Watch Hill on Fire Island. We got to enjoy some holiday spirit. Santa Claus and a rabbi came visiting on a boat to Fire Island, if you could imagine that. You don't see that every day, but I guess there is Christmas in July, right? So the kids even got to select a toy, which was so nice. We had one of the people in our party, so little girl Riley, she got herself a water gun, so cute. So I also got to celebrate over the weekend my good friend from college. We went to Adelphi University and we're cheerleaders together and everything like that. My friend Joanne is retiring and also leaving to move to Florida. She's retiring from Stony Brook University Hospital. And yes, indeed, we are losing yet another New Yorker. Her and her mom actually are off to Florida. She already has a place down there, so she's going to be selling the house here, and she's off, within the next couple of months. So, we'll talk more about that in a minute. But if you listened to my last week's show, you were able to hear from my newest employee, Brian Hardigan. Brian is the project manager, and sometimes you may get to talk to him when he answers the phones in the office when things are going crazy and the lines are all locked up. We kept the show pretty light and airy last week since we were going into the holiday weekend. However, there was a midterm election that took place on June 28th. Did you get out to vote? I did. The election, now there were several races, but I think the one that's most important and most prominent at this point was the election to determine who would be running for governor in November, since there were several Democrats and several Republicans running. We now know that Lee Zeldin will be running against Kathy Hochul. Do you all like what's happening in New York right now? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the lines. If you want to talk or chat today, I feel like chatting with people. So if you want to give a call into the show, the number here is 631-451-1039. So give a call. We could talk pretty much about politics, the market, whatever. There is just a whole lot going on. But so again, that number is 631-451-1039. You can speak to me, the Financial Chick. But so now we know that Lee Zeldin is going to be running against Kathy Hochul, who is the current governor. And, if we don't like what's going on right now, obviously we need to make a change. Now, I'll tell you one reason I like Lee Zeldin, so I'm giving you my opinion right now, but is that he has a proven track record of hard work and results. As a senator of New York, he's congressman now, but as senator of New York, he set out a plan to tackle several projects, and he completed them. One of which was reauthorizing the Zadroga Act and the 9/11 compensation fund for 9/11 first responders, victims, and their families. And I'll tell you, one of my clients actually just came into the office recently, and they worked at 9/11 downtown, and they got some paperwork saying that they were eligible for some funds, and so this stuff is happening, and you've got to look at where it has come from. So that was number one. Number two, or another thing they did was repeal the saltwater fishing license fee, which was a big thing. I mean, being in New York, surrounded by water, this is a pretty big deal. Another thing he did was led the charge to repeal the MTA payroll tax for 80% of employers. Now, we had schools, we had hospitals, everybody was paying this payroll tax, which cuts into the profits. These are small businesses, medium-sized businesses that are looking to work and help the community, but when they have this extra money that's going for something that really is not helping their business. So I will have to talk to Lee or whoever wins, and it will be Lee, God willing. But I'll have to talk to him about that one, because I'm still one of the 20% still paying that freaking tax. I don't know. So I do want to get that off my business, because it's annoying. And when we think about and it's funny because some of my friends like, oh well, my son works for the MTA and all of that, and I think that's fantastic. But having to pay several $100s a year is kind of just doesn't seem like a lot. I'd rather give that to a charity or something like that to help the community. But that's another story for another day. But so why do I lay this out? The reason I lay this out is because I can relate to the way Lee kind of runs his politician ways, or how he runs his administration, is that the way of thinking is very similar to mine. As a financial advisor, what I do is I meet with people, and I meet with you, I discuss your goals and try to find out what's important to you. From there, what we do is we prioritize those goals. Then we put together a plan to meet those goals. So, it is investments, but it's really doing strategy too. I had a call with a client this week, and it was a gentleman that I purchased a practice last year. So I was working with this client, and the prior financial advisor basically just did investments, and which is fine, and that's how some advisors do. But I do, comprehensive, holistic financial planning. What the heck does that mean? Well, that means taking a look at everything. So we're not just going to look and carve out a piece of your financial life and look at the investments, although that's important. We're going to look at everything. So with this gentleman, we were talking, and he was concerned. He wants to retire in a couple of years, and we had discussions about when to take Social Security. Would it be a good time to do it now? Maybe he should wait. He talked about longevity. His mom, 95 years old, just stopped driving. She had a condition a couple of years ago that had to go to the hospital, and she's Italian, and she said, listen, I'll do what I need to do for the procedure, but I need to be home for the weekend so I can do my cooking. So, I said to him, listen, you looks like you have longevity in your family, so there may be some strategies that he want to utilize. Maybe taking money out of the IRA prior to taking a Social Security and locking it at a higher rate. So the reason I'm saying all of this is that you really want to look at what you're looking at, and look at what your goals are. So not all of them are going to be based on the investments. Maybe they're, when do I want to retire, and when do I want to buy that second home, or when do I want to sell my home and maybe rent? I mean, people are doing so many different things. So it's laying out what you want to do. So looking at Lee as a senator, he did just that. I mean, the things that he set out when he was running for the office, he set out these bullet points, and what he did was he met pretty much all of them. And I only gave you 3. There was a whole lot more that he accomplished as well. Obviously he's moved up to Congress, and but now he's looking to come back to New York to work with New York to help us. And New York is riddled with problems right now, but it's really exciting. Lee Zeldin has picked a Lieutenant Governor, Allison Esposito, who served in the NYPD for 20 plus years. So that's a pretty big deal. With the current state of New York City right now, having someone who understands crime and how to protect people. I met her and I heard her speak. She's a huge asset to this ticket, and I'm hopeful and excited for November. I love New York and would love to see it become a safer and more sensible place, or sensible policies for this place to kind of bring it back to its glory. So people can stay here. Like I said, I mean, I love Florida too. But I do love New York, and I want to stay here. And with the current policies that are going on, we need some help. And when people don't feel safe, I know I don't really have any desire to go into the city. It's a really frightening type of thing. So we're getting close to the commercials, but remember, I'm going to open up the lines. So after the commercials, if you want to give a call to discuss anything that we're talking about today, 631-451-1039 is the number. Give a call. But do stay tuned. You're listening to The Financial Chick. My name is Denise Nostrom. The company's Diversified Financial Solutions. I help you look for financial solutions when you feel like there are none. So feel free to contact me at financialchickshow.com or at 631-758-8691. So stay tuned after these messages, and we are going to talk more about the state of the current affairs of Long Island and the country.
Good job, 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Hey everybody, back live. So a little fun fact, I wasn't here live on Friday, but yeah, it's been a crazy week. I feel like I say that every week, but it's been a lot. It's been a lot. So trying to keep it light and airy. Well, not really light and airy, but trying to keep it positive, I guess is what I really want to say.
Some lady just loudly proclaimed, "Why is he wearing a mask?" So I shouted back at her, I'm like,
Are you?
Yeah, not even kidding. I'm like, my parents have COVID, and she was like,
Oh my goodness.
just leave me alone.
Seriously.
Like, why can't anyone leave me alone?
Oh my goodness gracious. People are too much. They really are.
Yep.
I don't know.
Do you ever take pictures when you're in the studio? Or,
Yeah.
Okay, so do you mind sending them to me so I can put them on our Facebook?
Of course,
Cool.
yeah.
Are you live on Facebook or Instagram?
I'm live on Facebook right now. I'm on Instagram too, but I don't do it on.
Next time, tag us.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know I should. Yeah, I know. I should do a lot of things, but there's not enough time to do anything at this point.
What's your page called?
Well, I'm doing on my live on my personal right now.
Oh, okay. 5 seconds, by the way.
But
I'm sorry.
okay. Oh, 5 seconds. All right. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick. My company is in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all of those changes. So before the break, we were talking about the upcoming election in November for governor of New York. We have local politics, which is obviously so important in our daily lives, but we also have national politics. So what is happening there? It seems like the Democrat Party is finally realizing what most of us already knew. Biden has no idea what he's doing, or does he? So what is next? I don't know. I mean, the vibe this whole week has been, everybody's disgusted and they don't feel he's competent, and it's just a lot. So it's really hard to make any decisions on anything when the leadership is so weak and there's really no direction. Many of you have or will be receiving your second quarter investment and retirement statements right now. Yep, they look pretty bad. We all know that the markets have been volatile, but seeing those numbers on those statements make it very real. I've definitely had a few clients call into the office. I told some of them to listen today because I would go over some of this. It's tough, we came off some really, really good years, and what happens is people get used to that. They get used to the fact that, every quarter the market goes up, the market goes up, the market goes up, but we do forget that the market goes down. And it's not a great thing when it happens, but at the same time, it's a cleansing, first of all, and number two, it gives us an opportunity to take a fresh look or to get those investments that maybe you didn't have a chance to get the first time. Now, I may not be talking about Bitcoin, but maybe some other things that you might have missed out, maybe getting into Tesla or some of these other names that have really moved up so much, but now have come down a lot. So what I can tell you, it is hard to make any decisions right now because of the uncertainty, but I would say the one thing that you want to do is stay the course. Just stick with what you're doing. But you need to get a plan of attack. And what I mean there is that, if you are currently working and you're very far from retirement, keep plugging away at you putting away to your retirement plans or saving for your kids' education. Maybe a good time to take a look at life insurance. These are all things that you want to take a look at, and life insurance can be an amazing, and it's usually a dirty word for many people, but life insurance is really a great way to combat taxes. It can have a dual purpose. You can save money inside. Some people, if you overfund insurance policy, you can flip that around and make it become a tax-free pension plan. That's something that you're interested in. We can talk about that. Obviously, if God forbid you're not here or someone's not here, those proceeds come to the person that's the beneficiary, tax-free. That's a pretty huge thing. Good for estate planning. But also, there's policies that if you are older, that you can have an opportunity to pay for some of your care if you need some type of assisted living or long-term care. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but get a plan of attack. If you're retiring in a couple of years, just don't look at the investment and go, oh man, it's down, this is bad. Really look at it and say, okay, it's down, but now what do I need to do? If I'm retiring in 2 to 3 years, how should I switch my investments, or should I protect a portion of this, or what should I be doing? So we're really great at accumulating assets for the most part, most of us, but we don't know what to do when we're stepping over the line for retirement, or if God forbid you have a situation where you're losing your job. So get a plan of attack, know your numbers, know your situation. And again, if you want to make some changes if you need to do so, but don't make sweeping changes because you missed the boat. We're pretty low at this point. I'm not going to say we're at the bottom, and if anybody says that they know that we're at the bottom or don't know we're at the bottom, they're lying, because so many things happen. I mean, the sentiment last week was like, doom and gloom. The sentiment this week was like, wow, okay, people are starting to work. The jobs numbers, it's kind of my personal opinion. In June, what's going to happen is a lot of the kids graduate. So the job numbers are going to go up because what happens? People are working, right? They're going to get a part-time job. So you get a lot more people, getting onto the payrolls. What happens in September? Well, job numbers tend to fall because what happens? The kids are going back to school. So they're not working. People pick up like a part-time job or the summer or whatever the case may be. So, now they're questioning, oh, maybe we won't have a recession, or maybe they won't raise rates. So, from week to week, you just have to quiet the noise and just focus in on what you need to do and just know what your goals are and what your numbers are. The sad part, this is why, I would tell my clients right out, let's take a look at what you need to do and base it on what your situation. The administration sadly has no clue. So I feel that we may have to have some better insight after the midterm elections, God willing. Anyway, we'll see what's going on and how that plays out. What I did hear this morning was that the Biden administration wants to raise taxes on the rich again, and they want to spend more money to prop up Medicare. Now, this all sounds like a wonderful talking point, but doing these things during a fragile economy or one that apparently is on a brink of recession, which may already be in a recession, would be a really bad move. You don't want to do this at this particular time. And, people don't believe in trickle down, but trickle down does happen. I mean, these big corporations, they do pay taxes. I know we say, oh, they don't pay taxes, but think of it from, think about the Medicare point. When you get your paycheck, you pay into Medicare, the 1.45, but your employer matches that as well. So let's just presume that nobody works. If nobody works, money's not going into Social Security and money's not going into Medicare. If we got a bunch of people on unemployment on the dole. So that's not a good thing. So having people at work and having full employment and a good participation rate is really, really important. And unfortunately, there's really no incentive right now to have people go back to work. Although it's interesting, I wonder, and I've been talking to people, especially over the weekend, the holiday weekend, people are having to deal with higher gas prices, higher food prices, pretty much everything's higher prices. How are they doing this? The fear is that they are using the credit cards. And we don't know what's going to happen on the other side, but I think there's a lot of things that could kind of fall out of the cabinet, so to speak, things that we don't know. The cabinet's close, opens up, and all the cups fall out. So we're hoping that that is not the case. But in other news, we really, we can't, going back to the fewer taxpayers, that this is just an interesting stat. We had 7.27 million births in the back-to-back years from 2020 to 2021, which were the pandemic years, which that was the fewest number of American births in back-to-back years in 40 years. So that 40-year number, man, is poignant because we haven't had inflation. It's like we're back in the 70s. It's really during the Carter administration. Births are not happening. Again, fear, uncertainty. we have inflation. We have a war over Ukraine with Russia. You know, a lot of things going on. So, but now the U.S. had 7.24 million births from 1980 to 1981. 30 years ago, from 1990 to 1991, the U.S. had 8.27 million births in back-to-back years. So you can see that, you know, things are starting to hedge down, and we have all of these different problems. Somebody's got to have some solutions. If we don't have people working, but more people taken out from Social Security and Medicare, the numbers just don't add up. It's just going to be a problem. So I don't want to leave on a negative note. So on a positive note, my daughter, and I know I refer to her every once in a while, she actually has her learner's permit. I don't know if this is a positive note. Well, I guess you could take this as positive or negative, right? So she's going to be out there on the road, which is kind of scary with everything that's going on and texting, and we've told her don't do that. But the positive side is that we're going to have a driver in the house, which is cool, and she could drive herself to and from work eventually and help with errands. So I guess there is some good stuff, right? So we're getting into another weekend, and hopefully we'll have some good weather. Today turned a little bit, you know, we had a little rain going on, and definitely cooled down a little bit. This Sunday, I have my Power of Women Exchanging Resources annual brunch, where we'll be honoring Debbie Loesch from Angels of Long Island. So that's why I'm a little sluggish and tired. It's been quite a lot of work. Volunteerism is fabulous and so huge on Long Island, but getting people to help is so hard. But we'll talk more about that next time. But I do want to thank you all for listening, and I want you to remember to try to do better and be better. We all can do this. This will pass. Again, take a look at those statements. Don't pine over the statements, but call me, call your advisor. Just hone in and see what changes or things that need to be made in your own personal situation. But don't disregard your goals. They will still happen. It's a cycle, and this too shall pass. So have a wonderful weekend, and I can't wait to be with you again next Friday. Alrighty, and there you go. I don't know if it was as uplifting show as I wanted, but we got some issues, but we got this.
Hey, good job.
Call me if you can, and call me if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great weekend.